welcome. This is book 2 out of 3 on the theme of empathy. This book is called 2 Weeks with the Queen by Morris Gleitzman, and it's a story of a young boy named Colin whose brother they find has terminal cancer. And his parents, they ship him off to London to stay with some family, while his parents and younger brother Luke, they go through the cancer journey. And the story follows Colin's determination to find a cure and how he develops empathy in the process. The author uses the wild imagination and desperation of this young boy to help the reader understand the voyage from denial to acceptance of his brother's terminal condition. The story evokes empathy not only to Colin's brother, but to Colin himself and the emotions he's going through, and it also evokes empathy to the characters Ted and Griff, and the hardships that they faced, not only for their relationship, but also when Griff dies. So the author uses this unique perspective to convey a story about cancer. Most traditional cancer stories we've read are usually in the perspective of the patient, not really in the perspective of family member, and I thought that was quite unique to do. And the story changes, it has a turning point, and it changes from a desperate hunt for a cure and denial basically, to a story about being present for the ones you love and coming to terms with your emotions. And that's a lot for a preteen, so I thought it was very creative to do it in this style. The novel would especially be inspiring to students who know someone close who has cancer, like a family member or a friend. And it's also inspiring for students who don't have a person who they know who has cancer, because they don't have to go through that pain to understand how to be empathetic towards that person, which is also a very good experience. And I think the story teaches a lesson of empathy, love, and a bond of friendship and family, and being there for someone when they have difficult times, and not allowing that person to go through an experience like this alone. As a teacher, I believe that empathy can't be explicitly taught in the classroom, and it's something that you learn by experience. And not just your own experience, but it could be secondhand experience, like learning through a novel like this. And I think that as Colin begins to understand the ramifications of cancer and how it is permanent and he's going to lose his brother, his desperation from a cure sort of dies down, and he realizes that he needs to be there with his brother, and he needs his brother to know how much that he loves him. And I think that was really powerful in this novel. And another strength of this novel is that the author has explained all these difficulties, all these emotions in the naive eyes of a young boy. And I think that that's what made me connect to this book so easily, and I think that would be the same for my students. So this is a really emotional book. But some activities to go with this book could be for the students to create interview questions for Colin and then answer those questions as well. So questions could be about how Colin was feeling during this time, his relationship with Luke and how it changed, about Colin's time in London, about Ted and Griff, about Alistair even. And then they're going to answer these questions as well using what's in the book and also inferences that they've made. And then they can record the interview in like a current affairs style. So one person will be Colin, the other the interviewer, that kind of thing. And then another activity that their students could do could be to create a video diary for Luke in a vlog style. So the vlog would be taken by Colin, and so students can consider what they would show Luke of London, who would they introduce him to, what would they talk about, what would Colin be asking Luke kind of thing. And they could even consider bringing in guest speakers in the vlog. And I've also got some resources at the end of this video. So Reading Australia has some lesson ideas for stories by Morris Gleitzman. So there's a link for that. The Amnesty organisation has also some useful teaching points and activities that can be used. An interesting resource that I found was that Camp Quality has a travelling puppet show, and they sort of go through what cancer looks like, and they answer all the difficult questions for cancer, but they make sure that it's age appropriate, and I think there's 3 different ages that they cater to. And it's a free program. It's an incursion, and I think that would be a very valuable resource to use. And I've also added some websites that have more information about cancer in children. So that's 2 weeks with the Queen. Thank you.